Leet code question 1299. Replace elements with the greatest element on the right side. So what it's asking for is, let's say that you have this element of arrays. Let's say you start with this one. You're going to check all the elements to its right, and you're going to see which number is the largest. So the largest in its right is 18, and therefore the 17 is now 18. Intuitively, when I thought of this question, okay, well, what we can do is just do a for loop here and loop through each element, so check each element, and then from that for loop make another for loop to check these numbers, and then after that, once you go down the list, you just continuously check and make double for loops each time. That's a nested for loop. So for example, intuitively, let's say you're here, you're gonna check all the numbers on over here, and then after that, let's say you have this new list over here. You're gonna say, okay, which one is the biggest number? The biggest number is 18. Then after that, you're gonna go to the next one. You're gonna check the biggest numbers here. The biggest numbers from here is 6. And then after that, you're here, so you're gonna check the biggest numbers to its right, and that's still 6. And then after that, you're here now, you're gonna check the numbers to its right, it's still 6. And then you're here now, you're going to check the biggest number to its right, and there's only 1 there, so it's going to be 1. And then you're here now, and the last number, there's nothing to its right, so you're just going to put -1 because that's what they want us to do. So we have 18, 6, 6, 6, -1. Or 18, 6, 6, 6, 1, -1. Now, that's all good and all. Like, we could brute force that by doing a nested for loop there. However, what if there was an easier solution, or what if there was a faster solution, only using one for loop? And the thing I thought about is, what if we started from over here, from left? So instead of thinking left to right, let's start right to left. If we start right to left, we can know which number is the largest so far already, and we could take that largest number so far, and we can apply it to every other number here, and we can compare that. So we only need one pass comparing the largest number we have so far, and since we started from the right, it'll apply to everything. Like, it'll apply to an element all the way to its right because we started from the right. So let me show you an example of this. So let's say you have this box, and this box stores our number. Let's say our largest number so far right now is 0, because or -1, we could say too. We're starting here, and we're trying to figure out the numbers to its right. But we know that this last number is always going to be -1 because there's nothing to its right, right? So this one is always going to be -1. So let's say we're going to have this new list here, and we can already say the last number is always going to be -1. So let's just put -1 there. So you know what? Let's start at this 6. Okay, so we're starting at the 6, and we want to look at the numbers to its right. So let's call this next number. So we're going to look at the number to its right, and we're going to say, is 1, or is this next number bigger than the largest number we have so far? And it is bigger. So since it's bigger, let's update the largest number so far into 1, and then after that, we'll place it into our list. Then we'll go to the next guy, and we'll make 6 our next number now. Now we're going to say, is 6 bigger than 1? Well, 6 is bigger than 1, so we'll update our largest number so far, place the 6 into our list. And then we'll go down the cascade. So now this is our next number. Is 4 bigger than 6? No, 4 is not bigger than 6. So since 4 is not bigger than 6, then we can just place the biggest number so far in there. We don't have to update our largest number so far. And now you can kind of see how this works, because since the largest number so far, since we start from the right, it'll apply to everything as we continue going down. It'll apply everything from left to right if we start from the right. So 18, largest number so far. Is 5 bigger than 6? No. And then we're at 17. Is 18 bigger than 6? Yes, it is. So 18 is bigger than 6, and we'll stop here. So you might be wondering, how come we never read this first number, the 17? Well, we're only interested in the numbers to its right. Therefore, no matter what this number is, this number will always change because it's only taking the largest number from its right, and it's not including itself. So even if this number was like 170, a really big number, no matter what it is, we don't really care about this because this is going to be replaced with the biggest number to its right, which is 18. So that's basically how that code goes, or how the the thinking of the code goes. So let's try to type this out. Okay, so what do we need? What do we need? We need our largest number so far. Largest number so far. So that was this box that we had. That's our largest number so far. And then we also need a replaced list. So we need this new list right here. And in this replaced list, we already know that we're going to have a -1 in there arbitrarily already. So this one's already taken care of. Okay, now we're going to start looping through the array, but in reverse style. So how do we do that? In range of length of array. So for range, it's start, stop, and step. So we can start at the end of the array. So at the end of the array, the last index is length of array -1, and it's going to go until -1. So that's start, stop, and then step. And we go, the step or the stop is -1 because it goes up to but not including the end. So there's that guy. So length array -1, -1, -1. But however, we don't want to start at this 1 because we already have a -1 here. We already know what this number is going to be. We want to start at the 6. So we can actually just put -2 there. Okay. So from there we need to access the next number. So we're at 6 right now. We want to access the 1. So we can say next number is equal to array I plus 1. So that's going to be the next number. So we're going to look at the next number. Even though we're at 6, we're looking at the 1. So from here, we're going to say if next number is bigger than store number, then store number, or is bigger than our largest number so far, then largest number so far is equal to our next number. So what does that do? That's basically right here. If 1 is bigger than 0, then replace 1 with 0. So we're just replacing our largest number so far with our next number. And then what do we have to do? We have to append or put that number into our list. So we say replaced list dot insert, and replace it into the front. So replace list, and we'll put in our largest number so far. Otherwise, it's not that the next number isn't bigger, so we don't need to update it, and therefore we can just put in our largest number so far anyways. And at the end of the day, we'll return replaced list. And from that, 17, 18, 5, 4, 6, 1, the output should be 18, 6, 6, 6, 1, -1. And let's say let's change this to 19. So this 19 should populate throughout the whole entire thing, and the last one is -1. So that's the answer to the greatest Leet code question 1299.